On it this afternoon and doing our thing, doing what we do best. State of the Union Day, so a lot of coverage of that. Believe it or not, for the first time in days, I haven't started with weather. We got past that red flag situation. We do have a good chance of rain. Could get a little bit dicey on for some folks on Thursday as we're going to warm up. Got warmer weather coming in. We'll be back in the 70s by at some point tomorrow. I think in the 60s, 70s on Thursday. I'll take it. Good stuff. Again, I think we've said all we can say about the State of the Union so far. Anything new that breaks on that, we'll get that to you too. Let's start. When I left for vacation, it was all the Nancy Guthrie case, and then eventually it looked like. And AJ, you can advise me. Did it sort of just fall out of the news for a few days? Because I turned it all off. I wasn't watching the daily news coverage and all that.
Yeah, I mean, after a while, when it seems like we've been hitting deadline after deadline when it comes to these ransom notes, and
Yeah,
it's just been kind of going in circles. There's really been no new lead. They had that one where with the gloves that they supposedly had found not too far from the house, and then that turned up to be a nothing burger.
but
So
did I read somewhere that they thought they found DNA on one of the gloves or
they did,
something?
but it didn't
But it
match.
wouldn't match.
Yeah,
Okay. I hated to be so out of the loop, but that's the whole point of going on vacation
right.
is you just kind of distance yourself from all that stuff. So I tried to play catch up, but when I was coming back this week, I was like, well, what's going on with that case? And there just wasn't a whole lot of news on it. So I figured that when the trail goes cold, at some point, even the conspiracy theorists give up and move on to other conspiracies. But it kind of showed back up in the news today, somewhere around, I guess it was about 9, 10 o'clock this morning. Savannah Guthrie put another video out. Now, and I'm not saying this to sound insulting towards Savannah Guthrie, okay? I don't know her. I don't really respect her career, but I do respect her as a human being who's lost her mama, it appears. And we can all relate to that. We got to get past politics and just, she does look like she has been through it. And I'm saying that in a sympathetic way, not a critical way. Does that make sense? For a person who's blow dried and made up and cared for and outfitted with costumes and on the glitzy sets with all the lights. You realize these are real people, and having been in that business, I know this, but we're seeing sort of a real side of her right now. And so she got back into camera this time, of course, without her siblings, and today offered $1 million reward for anyone who could lead to what she called the recovery of her mother. She said they continue to have hope again. I'm sort of paraphrasing because it's kind of a long video, and I hate to just run a clip of it. By now, some of you have seen it, but she said the family still has hope. They got to have hope until you know for certainty that you've had a loss like that. You're going to have you're going to try to reserve some amount of optimism, as difficult as it is to believe her mother is still alive. But then she switched and said, "But they're preparing themselves. They're fully aware that her mom is probably not alive, but they want her back. They want to know what happened, and they want to recover her, which is what you do to a." Well, she used the word recover, and I watched it come across almost in real time, and that's the word we associate with recovering a body. When you have search and rescue after a big cataclysmic event, it'll start as a search and rescue mission. And then when no longer can you find people alive, we turn our own language and say it's now a recovery mission. You're just trying to find the dead. And sadly, I think that's where it seems like we would be in this case. So they put up $1 million. It's based on the FBI's criteria. They have sort of some standard criteria for awards that they'll put out about what information and what it has to produce in order to achieve the reward. Now, then that became instantly controversial. There are some within the family's orbit that believe that the local sheriff, who really is turning out to look like a buffoon, advised the family early on. Savannah Guthrie's worth a lot of money. I don't know how much. Their estimates all over the place, but clearly could put her hands on $1 million with her celebrity wealth that she's built. And early on, the family wanted to put out a substantial reward like this, but they said the sheriff pushed back on them and said it would lead to too many false tips. Well, that's all they wound up getting anyway. Were a bunch of false leads, and I still believe that ransom demand was fake the whole time, and it just led people in the wrong direction. So, but they also said they were putting up $500,000. There's a Center for Missing and Exploited Children And they said that was out of their sympathy for people who are also, and I think this was appropriate. They acknowledged their families all over this country that don't get this kind of attention. They don't get national media coverage and the president of the United States on the phone helping to find their missing loved ones. It is heartbreaking, and it can happen for a lot of reasons. Custody disputes and kids get swiped by a custodial parent. You've got situations where people have Alzheimer's, and I've covered stories in all of these categories over my career. I remember we were searching desperately for a woman who had Alzheimer's over in Georgia, and she had just taken off in her car one day, started driving, and the way they found her is she drove the car into a bunch of corn. She got so disoriented, she went into a cornfield and was eventually spotted. She had fallen asleep in the car. But these kind of things happen for a number of different reasons, not always kidnapping, but sometimes there are kidnapping, especially with children. And so the family has donated to that cause out of sympathy for that cause. And I guess that's altogether their call and very appropriate for them to do. As far as the case, not much that is of great value. There was another image that Fox News, I think, enterprised of. It looks like the same dude on the same porch, but this time without a backpack. And Fox was given information that this image was taken on a different night than the night Nancy Guthrie disappeared. So what do we make of that? The implication is that somebody may have been there prior to the night she disappeared. The same outfit, same jacket, same mask, same pants. It looks very familiar. What was interesting, though, is the shoes didn't match. And one FBI guy I heard talking today said it could be a whole nother person in the same outfit. Or could be the same dude, showed up on different occasions. He just wore different shoes. Or could be the same dude on the same night, because the sheriff says there's no timestamp on that image, and they don't have any information that somebody was there on a night other than the night in question. And that just leads to more confusion. It clearly looks to me, though, again, having some time off from the case and coming back to it, trying to get caught up, it clearly looks to me like there's a total beef between the local investigators that's grown even more intense and then the feds. And at some point, even the technological capability of the FBI and those that are trying to assist in this matter, because remember, the FBI is still not the lead in this case. At some point, they even exhaust their abilities. They've gone through all the digital trail. I don't think the case will ever get closed until there is some, quote, closure. There have been some Mexican teams from Mexico that specialize in cadaver recovery. They have specialized equipment, underground probes that sort of, for lack of a better term, that sniff for cadaver evidence, that have been probing the ground near the area. So we don't know. We don't know if it was a straight up murder, an accident that turned into a cover up that made to be look like a kidnapping, or it was an actual kidnapping that was cased and planned for either ransom or revenge. We don't know. We don't know any of that. I don't know that we know more than when this story broke. Do we know anything more than when the story broke? We know she's not in the home. It happened that night. Some read into the Savannah Guthrie video today that she said snatched from her bed, and that had not been stated by the police. That may have just been her making some assumptions, or it could be a fact in the case that we didn't know, that she was asleep. It would stand to reason she was asleep that night, and somebody came into her bedroom, which is just a nightmare. But think about it yourself. A lot of y'all are able-bodied people. Some of you, like me, you stay cocked, locked, and ready to rock in the middle of the night. I've got something for you. What is it? I got a loaded doorbell alarm. A loaded burglar alarm is how I've heard it referenced. Yeah, I mean, some of y'all are ready, but think about the vulnerability, even if you think you're prepared for an intruder, of how that must feel to wake up in the middle of the night and know that somebody's in your house and you are there alone. Now, fast forward in your life, you're 84 years old, man, woman, whatever, limited mobility. We know this about Mrs. Guthrie. The whole scenario that's been painted about this is just a thing of horror movies, to be honest with you. No matter if she's alive or not, if she's suffering and alone and scared right now after 24 days, that's a horror movie. But if she was abducted or assaulted or killed or drug out of there somehow, It's another one of those. It's our worst nightmare, which I think is what led so many people to relate to this case, to consider your own parents, consider we all have parents that we care about. All these things made the country kind of click. But at some point, you can't sustain the story anymore. There's still a case. There's still people on the ground actively doing everything they can. But at some point, there's nothing else to talk about. And there wasn't yesterday. I don't even think, did we even bring it up yesterday? I don't even think it was in the news at all.
No.
And then today, Guthrie comes out with that. Of course, that extra picture of what supposedly is the suspect. It also came out. There was one of the experts on Fox today kept repeating, or they kept using his sound clip. And this guy, I mean, this sounds logical. He thinks it is multiple people, and that one person could not have just carried her away like that. It would have been too difficult and too cumbersome. That it took an effort to just remove her from that property that way. And maybe he's right. I don't know. And then I heard somebody use the old Ben Franklin quote when it comes to multiple people being involved in something. Ben Franklin famously said, 3 people can keep a secret only if 2 of them are dead. And what that would mean is if it is a conspiracy, if there are more than 1 people involved, these kind of cases eventually reveal themselves. Is that the best way to put it? Somebody's going to talk. It's almost impossible for a group of conspirators to hold that kind of information because people start worrying about their own hide at some point, and somebody will flip, and then the case gets an opening. And in some ways, if you look at it through that prism, that's the best case scenario for the investigators, that it's a multi-party effort, and they've got that possibility that somebody is just going to cave to the pressure. A single individual can store a secret like that for the rest of their lives if they want to. It's how serial killers used to get away, being lone and alone and motivated singularly with their own sickness back in the days when that was so everywhere, especially the 70s and 80s. But anyway, I guess that's all I have to update on. I had it on my list today because the reward came out. Guthrie's back out. She's not on the air yet. And I was watching her do this video, and I thought, there's got to be a point where she has to go back to work. And being somebody who's not on the level of a national morning show, but I have a radio show every day, I have an obligation to show up. AJ, when would you come back to work, man? I mean, we have one of those unique jobs where you physically have to be here and present it to the public every single day, whether you feel like it or not.
Yeah.
And if I were going through something like this, I don't know that I could have a clear head and even work at all.
I mean, it's going to take us some time because in the back of my mind, I know that she is still out there, right? And I'm just trying to put my shoes in Savannah Guthrie's, put my feet in Savannah's shoes, and I'm like, it's gonna be kind of hard because you don't have the answers of what you've been seeking, and it just seems like you just keep getting dead end after dead end after dead end. But eventually, you will have to kind of get back to, I won't say a normal life, but back to life.
You got to work. And in her case, and I know we got to get the break. I'm just thinking out loud. I saw a story a couple weeks ago about Savannah Guthrie and the fact that the Today Show's ratings have gone up since she's been gone. But I'm not sure that's just because she's gone. I think it's because people are watching this case, and that is leading more curiosity for people to tune into the Today Show, see if they're going to find out anything there, perhaps. I don't know that her going through a tragedy has helped their ratings, but it must be unnerving to Guthrie because let's be real, this is an egocentric business. You don't want to get replaced. You feel like if you can't be there, nobody can do your job for you. You are the product in a lot of ways, and I feel like she must have something pulling on her to go back and sometimes, and I've seen this too in murder cases, going back to what's familiar is somewhat comforting. Does that make sense? I've never had a family member kidnapped or murdered, but I've gone through difficult times over the last 16 years since we've been doing this show, where the one normal thing I had in my day was being in here, just coming in here and seeing AJ. The light comes on. You got a job to do. You tune everything out. You do your job. And some of y'all may have jobs like that where the job itself may be the only normal thing in your life if you could just get back to it.
Yeah.
But the minute she goes back on that set, it's just all questions,
Hmm.
all eyes on her every move while her mom's out there missing. It's a weird thing out there
And I think
in the world of media.
when people, the reason why the ratings are up, it's almost like when people watch a car wreck, they want to see like they don't want to see the tragedy, but they want to kind of see it in a sense. They want to rubberneck a little bit.
Yep.
And so people are paying attention to that just in case something does break and they can see and watch it in real time.
That's good stuff. All right. We'll do our break and get on back in here. Alabama Gold Refinery bringing the show today. Gold has benefited from the market turbulence. The market was back up today. It does its thing quite a bit, actually. But gold, let me pull this up and see where gold is. I usually wait to the close, and we can give you that number every day. But and this is one of those things that if you're holding it, it's like you're part of your retirement or your investment fund. You want to track it yourself and see how things are doing. But if you had bought gold back when AGR first came on the show, you'd have more than doubled your money by now. I think gold was in the low 2000s, and that seemed like it was expensive. So far today, it's at 5,174 an ounce. Silver's been doing the same thing. All these precious metals have been on a rocket, so it would have been a good investment. It still is because it has real value. It's not like paper stocks. It's tangible. You can hold it in your hand. It defies inflation. It's the haven that people go to when inflation does start up or turbulent times come up, which tells you and me we ought to have a little bit of it in our possession in the things that we own. You decide how much that is and what your comfort level is, and get your financial advisor in on that or your tax person. But if you need an expert on these trades, it's Steve at Alabama Gold Refinery. He knows his product. He knows his business. He's a fair guy, safe location. All the security features built in there, in their facility right across from the Regions Bank there in Homewood. Homewood's just the smack dab center of our whole listening area, so easy to get to. Y'all go and visit Steve and enjoy the shop. It's a fun place to visit, but it's a place you can go and do. You can buy, you can sell, you can trade, you can exchange, whatever you want to do. They'll do it with you at Alabama Gold Refinery, AGR, alabamagoldrefinery.com. It's 327. Michelson Laser Vision bringing you the show tonight. If you're watching on the internet cam, you can see these big chunky glasses. I'm holding them up in front of the camera. Sometimes I'll use these readers. You may see a photo with me because some snarky person one time said, I thought you got lazy because they saw me with glasses on. I chose a version of the surgery where I kept my binocular vision and my depth perception. They can actually, if you don't like having to drag readers around and you've got the kind of vision they can correct, Dr. Michelson, both doctors Michelson can correct your vision for near and far. I don't know how it works, but they fix one eye for up close, one eye for far away, and your brain figures it out. But you do lose depth perception because you don't have binocular vision anymore. And some people, that's fine. Some of you will choose that version. So I don't mind at my age having readers around. I keep them around for blue light situations on computer screens. And I've told this story so many times. Restaurant receipts, man. Y'all ever have to get your phone light out so you can see the receipt? That happens maybe now and then. But I'm telling you, outside of that, being 2015 and seeing crystal clearly everywhere I go all the time, it's really a miracle. Y'all check out LASIK. The only place I would send you is michelsonlaservision.com. The pioneer of the laser here in Alabama, the second generation with Dr. Jennifer being there, and they're ready to help you too, like they helped me. 2015 is pretty nice, and I'm going on my 7th year since LASIK. My eyes are still crystal clear. Dr. Michelson, downtown, UAB Highlands, easy in and out facility. Y'all go get your appointment. At least do that due diligence. michelsonlaservision.com. They have a State of the Union bingo card out, AJ. They always do this.
Mm-hmm.
Should we go through it or should I wait to the next segment?
Well, the back time was about to play. So
Okay, yeah, we're getting close to the bottom. I'll give you a few of them. It says, these are phrases. If Trump says them, you can put your little marker on your bingo card, right? He says scam or hoax.
Okay.
He says MAGA. Does he ever really say MAGA? I don't know that he
he
uses
did
it
in
like
the
we
beginning,
do.
but not like he used to.
Yeah, he says Epstein. He ain't going to say Epstein.
He may say this one.
He says Machado.
Machado. I never heard him say that.
You get a square if Barron Trump attends. Of course, Barron Trump's going to come. It's his dad.
Mm-hmm.
If he says President Xi, he has to say he's got to talk about China.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'll go through some more of these. This is just we're stretching a little bit, but it's kind of funny. All right, back here in a minute. Leland Live, Talk 99.5, y'all. Hang on. Look, if you're feeling the optimism, tonight's State of the Union speech is, I'm sure it's going to be Optimism City, that the future is bright. We're doing all the right things. It's been a year and we're turning it around, and you're going to hear those things. And I actually believe it because the fundamentals of what Trump is doing make sense to me. It's part of the fundamentals I grew up with, knowing what works and what doesn't work with taxation and government policy and trade. All these things are kind of going back to a time when America prospered. And if you're feeling it too, and you're in business and you're ready to expand or grow or start a business as we get 2026 fully underway, and I guess technically we are now, right? And you need space. All American Metals is ready to help you get a building project done. Now, they do both commercial and residential. And residential is, I guess you would say, on the smaller end of what they do. So for example, a pole barn like I have for my stuff at home to put my things away and keep everything dried out and secure, all the way up to barndominiums and residential red iron. But when it comes to commercial operations, sometimes you're going to need a big steel structure for your warehouse or your retail or whatever you're doing, your office space. These type buildings can be made to look beautiful. They go up very quickly, and I've said it a lot. Per square foot, it's the best value in construction. It just is. It's durable, it's strong, it's affordable, it's efficient, and you just can't beat the guys over at All American Metals. They're local folks. They've been putting up steel back to the 1960s, and so they know their stuff. Big, giant projects, and they control the whole process. You're fully integrated. Sometimes you're going to take a set of plans maybe you found, you think that's what you need, you're going to have to shop that around. These guys will design the thing for you just like you want it. Get you a stamped set of plans so you can get all your approvals done, and then they'll put the building together for you. They make all the components. They'll bring, when they put it on that truck, they know it fits together because they built the building on the ground before you ever see it, right? And then they bring it over to your site, and it goes up very, very quickly. They can even help you with one of their contractors they work with on a frequent basis or whatever you need to get the thing out of the ground. These are great guys, good patriots, good local folks that understand and know the steel business. And here's the best part for you. Their prices are going to beat some of the bigger national competition. Their turnaround is going to be way quicker. I mean, their turnaround time may be a third of what you see from some of these other places. And you get the customization. So you're going to get custom, you're going to get price, you're going to get speed. They're ready to go. Reach out to them at aa-metal.com. They're happy to get with you right away so you can get those plans done. It gets exciting when you're trying to grow your business. You want that thing to grow, and you need more space because things are going well. That's an exciting time. Don't be worried about your building project. Let aa-metal.com, let those guys handle all that stuff for you. It's All American Metals. Appreciate them being on the show and taking good care of all of our folks all this time. Trump bingo card. You want to hear some more of this stuff, AJ?
Yeah, I want to hear some more.
Even if you didn't, I appreciate you saying that because this is what I'm doing in this segment. That he mentions that Neil Gorsuch attends. Why all the Supreme Court's going to go? They're not going to not go.
Who made these bingo cards, man? They're boring.
Maybe the wise Latina. I mean, she may not go. She'll be there. They'll go.
Yeah, I mean, they got to be there. Now,
they don't have to be there, but it's tradition.
But, I mean, the question is, who's going to be the one that's going to be left behind just in case?
Oh, in the, that bunker thing that they do? It's, what is it called? Designated Survivor?
Yes.
I think that's the person.
Wasn't
Wasn't there a TV show called Designated Survivor?
There was.
It's usually like the agriculture secretary or somebody like that nobody will even know that's not in the room.
Excuse me, guys.
Yeah, it's like.
Is there anyone there?
They're like, Steven's, get in here. You're tonight's designated survivor. So at once you're both honored and insulted.
Right. Because it's like
like being the employee of the month at McDonald's. You're both a winner and a loser. Did I say that? I'm sorry.
Because I mean, like you're stuck inside this bunker that you probably don't even know. Like you can't talk to no one. No one knows where you're at, and you're just sitting there all by yourself.
Do you think they even watched the speech, or are they just scrolling on the internet?
Man, they got me up in this place all by myself, man.
They're down in a bunker going, Candace Owens did what?
Man, if I was president, man, this is what I would be doing right now.
Yeah. You think they're making plans? They're like, something hits this. If this thing goes boom, first thing I'm going to do is, what would be the first thing you do? AJ, we're going to turn this into the show for the next 20 minutes. And if Dixon and Vining, I know they have the question of the day. If they're listening, this is your question tomorrow. What is the first thing you do if you're the designated survivor and you suddenly become president overnight? Now, we're kind of stretching here because presidents don't have enough power to just wave a wand. But
I mean,
unless you're Trump, he's getting it done.
Hey, there's a couple of people I'm just going to just roll up on real quick. So, did you owe me some money?
My
Secret Service.
Take him out. My first thing at this stage of my life at this point is no kid sports activities after 8 o'clock.
Ah, yeah.
You're about to get in that zone, and it's going to own your life, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Now, there was a time where I was a designated dignitary that I
remember
had to
that
portray.
when our friend Brady was doing security stuff.
Yeah, that was the funnest thing
They made you
ever.
the executive that they were protecting in their drill. That was awesome.
Man, that was awesome. I had my own little escort around the city. And at the time, I was like, where can I go? Because he was like, just tell them where you want to go without, and they'll just go. I wanted to go to the mall, but it was like on a Sunday, and the mall was closed. And so I was like, you know what? I want to go to the Target. So I went to the Target off of over there by the mall, Brookwood.
Yep.
And went up in there. And you want to talk about eyeballs being up on you? Like, people were just like.
Because here's the backstory. Brady, y'all know Brady, does the security guys on the weekend. He has an executive security background. That's really how Brady and I first got to meet each other when I was working in government. And he's guarded some very big VIPs, but they do drills with their team. They needed a protectee to just be their guy that they would move around. And they called one day and said, AJ, can you be like the president? Or
right.
whatever?
Right.
AJ said, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, heck yeah. He said, I need you to put on a nice suit and meet me here. And I put on a nice suit. I met him at this designated place. He kind of told me some of the things that they had to do when there is a powerful person. Can't really disclose all the information.
Yeah.
But then walked through this place. Eyeballs were all up on me. They stopped families from, like, approaching them. They didn't, like.
Can't talk. And did people try to get their picture made?
People try to get their picture made. People try to talk to me. They like, nope.
Who do you think they thought you were?
I don't know.
Like some celebrity musician or some Hollywood guy.
Well, I couldn't be no Hollywood celebrity.
You don't look like Kay Ivey.
Yeah,
so what I'm saying
because like I was dressed up in a nice suit and I had like officers around me, like they.
You should have said, "I am from Zamunda. I'm looking for Hakeem." I mean, just to play along, you should have just
my son
come into
works?
America. My son has a job in Target. We could really come to America 7. I'd do that movie with you, man.
I should have done that.
You should have done it. He's got a big lion thing around him.
Yes, I should have done that.
Oh, I love James Earl Jones.
Man, oh gosh.
Hakeem.
He was here to sow his royal oats.
So he would be sowing his royal oats. That voice, man. If I had a voice like that, I would not be doing this radio show.
Yeah, but I had my old dignitary. I was a dignitary person. Like I was, man, it was so much fun. It was a lot of fun.
How long did y'all do it? Y'all ran around and did that a long time.
It was for like a couple of hours. It was a couple of hours. It was nice. Then I got a nice little shiny Secret Service coin after that. So
for participating with the
not
team.
Secret Service coin, but dignitary coin.
Oh yeah,
so
the little challenge coins
yeah.
they give out. Yeah, that's pretty
cool.
Pretty cool. Did you go home like all big time on Glen East, like when you?
Well,
got
this
home,
is before I met. This is before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is way before. Oh yeah. I was trying to say, hey.
Oh, was that your opening line when you met her? It's like, I was once protected by a security force.
And I think my background, I was like an Israeli prime minister or some type of defense person from from Israel or whatever. I think that was my role that I was playing. And I remember just walking around there. I could just hear the whispers like, oh, who is that? Like,
that's the Prime Minister of Israel.
Yeah, no, like why?
Seriously?
Why nobody could talk to him? And I tell Brady, hey, look, if you ever needed someone to fill in that role again, just let me know.
Yeah, just anytime.
Yeah.
But now you're famous, so it wouldn't work. They'd say, dang, AJ's got security now.
Oh, yeah.
They already know who you are.
Yes. Oh, let that happen now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a couple of events I want to go to. Just walk up in that mug.
Stand back, plebeians. You ain't on my level. I could see you doing that. You should get Brady to do that for you at the Jawbone Jam.
You know what? Hey, Brady, I'm going to reach out to you. So we go do that for Jawbone Jam.
Jawbone Security.
Because that's also around my birthday, too. So.
Oh, yeah, that would all work out. I guarantee you, even though y'all were doing a drill, Your security team that day was better than what Trump had around him in
Oh, it
Butler,
was.
Pennsylvania.
It was. They had roads blocked off. They had everything like shut down to the T.
Yeah.
And it was man, it was awesome.
That reminds me, I don't know why I just thought of this. This is a John Ed Willoughby special joke that he used to tell, the legendary John Ed. You knew John Ed, right?
Mm-hmm.
He sat behind a microphone in this building somewhere, and I heard the first time I ever heard this joke. He told it. Let's see if I can do it without screwing it up. So the Pope is visiting America, and he's riding in the Pope limo, and he tells the driver, "Pull over." The driver says, "Why?" He goes, "I want to drive." He goes, "I can't let you drive. I'm in charge of your security. I cannot let you just drive the limo." He goes, "Look, I'm in America now. I'm not anywhere near the Vatican. These roads are big and wide. I've always wanted to drive a car. I want to drive. Let me in the front seat." So the guy didn't have any choice. The Pope just told him to get out of the car. So the Pope gets in the driver's seat, and the driver gets in the back seat, and off they go down the road. Pope is just flooring it, man. He is speeding. He's enjoying himself, and he gets pulled over by the cop. Cop walks up to the door, and the Pope rolls down the window. He goes, "Hang on just a minute." The cop goes back to his squad car, his patrol car. He gets on the radio and calls dispatch and says, "I think I've made a huge mistake. I just pulled over a VIP." The dispatcher says, "Would you pull the mayor over?" He goes, "No, bigger than that." He goes, "Pull the governor over?" He goes, "No, bigger than that." He goes, "Did you pull the president over?" He goes, "No, even bigger than that." He goes, "Who's bigger than the president?" He goes, "All I know is he got the Pope driving him." Should I go to a break right now? Yep, back in a minute. All right, y'all. Allen and Company bringing you the show tonight as we're now past Valentine's Day, and what I've learned from Allen, I was talking about this yesterday, is there's kind of an engagement season if you're in that business. There's a time when a lot of engagements happen, and it's generally about mid-February around Valentine's Day through early summer. I guess everybody's just too hot after that, and then the holidays. That's another nostalgic time. You got family and friends around. People want to pop the question, but there's sort of a peak in the business, and we're in that zone. If you're in that market or you know someone that is and you really want it done in a custom way where you can get to know the family that's behind the business, the Thompsons, go see Allen and Company. Allen has the same diamonds at the same prices as all the other big stores and all the chain stores. That industry works largely on consignment. I mean, these diamonds are all over the world. What you get there, though, is hands-on custom work exactly like you want it. I mean, to the nth degree. Also, good local folks that are completely patient and deeply knowledgeable about what they do for a living. You got two generations of family members in the jewelry business. They're not going to rush you. They want you to be happy. They want you to keep coming back. They want you to bring that thing back and have it cleaned. Buy something else while you're there. That's good customer relations. You don't get that with corporate stores and chain stores. Man, you may hit a salesperson that just got there and read a training manual. You don't want to have that experience. This is a sentimental time. This is an important time. You want it to be right. So take your time. They've got something that they do, the Thompson family does there. They just call it their wish list. Got fellas, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. She's kind of known what she wanted since she was a little girl. Let her go shop. Let her dream a little, try everything on, take her time, sleep on it, change her mind, go back. Once she's vetted that whole process out and figured out what she wants, you can go back behind there and work with them and get it purchased and even get it financed or anything else. It's just the way they do it, sort of with a wink and a nod. She gets what she wants. You still get the element of surprise. Usually, what do they say? You should never ask a question you don't know the answer to. You know what the amateurs do? They run to the mall, get some cheap ass ring, and then ask some girl they just met to marry him in front of a bunch of people and you're not sure what the answer is.
Mm-hmm.
Bad move.
Yep.
Bad move. Do it the right way with Allen and Company in Vestavia, right there on Highway 31. Allen and Company. All right, I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing too much else. I went through most everything that we've got on the major list today, except for we got a little bit. Oh, let me do some Epstein stuff. Oh Lord, that story is just eking around all over the place. So we've still not had any major arrests, or none that I know of, here in the United States over an association with Epstein and anybody being part of those files. A couple of developments today. There is a Norwegian prime minister, former Norwegian prime minister. I think the way he pronounces his last name is Jagland. It looks like Jagland, but in Norwegian it'd be like Bjorn Jagland. I watch Vikings. I know how these people talk. Anywho, he is now apparently he's been hospitalized for attempting suicide after he got linked and an investigation was opened up into him for his links to Epstein. So that was a little bit of drama on the other side of the pond. Today, Massey goes to the floor of the House and starts creating more attention on the case. He still doesn't name any names that aren't already in the news. You've got all these people in the House that keep bloviating about they're going to put the information out because they've had access to go and look at the documents that are unredacted. That's not going anywhere in that fashion. Another couple of developments in this stuff is this Zorro Ranch. Y'all familiar with this place? This is that it doesn't get mentioned much because there's so much here. But people talk about the island, they talk about the plane, the Lolita Express plane and his Manhattan condo, but there is a ranch out in New Mexico. It was known then as the Zorro Ranch. It's got a different owner now that changed the name of it. But there are serious allegations. They believe bodies are buried at that ranch. And they could be the bodies of very, very small children and even infants. And that's not just a conspiracy theory. Investigators out in New Mexico have finally opened up an inquiry into the ranch, and some folks want that land to be tossed. They want cadaver dogs in there. They want to see if they can find any evidence of burial or other crimes associated with that ranch. What a sick twist as far as that goes. For their part, NPR claims to put a, and it's NPR. So what are you going to do? We don't know if it's just more of their. The left is still entertaining a fantasy that they're going to somehow tie Trump directly to crimes when it comes to Epstein, and they don't have a shred of anything to do that. But they, through implication, continue to try to insist that the White House is still hiding something. And so today, right ahead of the State of the Union, NPR puts out a piece claiming that there are files missing from the batch that was produced to the public that have just disappeared. I didn't read the whole piece, don't know all the details. There was one allegation that the files were there in the midst of all these millions of documents, that the files were there, then they weren't. Others said they were never produced. White House says they've complied with the law and produced everything they have. So that fight over the redactions and what files are missing, what files are there, I don't know. It's easy to make that allegation. I don't know how they prove that allegation, but they've made that allegation to try to continue to sort of put the White House in the middle of all this stuff. And I don't know, maybe there is something that they're trying to obfuscate. This Howard Lutnick, that's a huge advisor to Trump, and I like the guy. I like to listen to him talk. But at first, he blew off any relationship he would have with Epstein by saying, "Look, he was my neighbor." They all lived right there on, I think it's 73rd, 71st, 72nd, that part of Upper East Side. One day I told this story before my son first moved up there. I'm strolling down the street going to Central Park. I just want to see Central Park. And for some reason, I just stopped. I recognized the door. And I went, this is the freaking Epstein door. And it was. I Googled it and looked it up. So it was. I'm kind of familiar with those blocks right around there. And so Lutnick apparently lived right there next to Epstein. And if you've been to New York City and you understand how those folks live, they all live in vertical houses. And the doors are not very far apart. They've all some of these buildings are private. Some have doormen. They live in something called a brownstone or these crammed together buildings. So you almost can't miss each other if you're neighbors, because you're going to poop your dog and walk for coffee. Everybody's on foot. Some people are, I guess, are picked up by automobiles in that part of town. And you see that when you're there, but they know their neighbors. And so Lutnick said, yeah, he was my neighbor. We all know our neighbors. Then it turns out there's stuff about Lutnick's relationship where he transferred property. They've had some business dealings that Lutnick didn't expose. And so my advice to all these people is guilt by association only works if there's innuendo and lacking information, right? If you didn't have anything to do with the abuse of these children or any crimes, but you knew this guy because everybody knew Epstein. He was a celebrity and among celebrities in that elite culture. Of course, a lot of people would have gone places or been places with him or have their picture made and have got all the deniability in the world that they knew what was going on. And I think that's legit on all sides. Bill Clinton, not so much. Neither Bill Gates or anybody that was deep in bed with this operation. But it continues to, even there's another turn today. I think it was Nancy Mace and others in Congress coming out after looking at the document saying, we don't believe Epstein killed himself at all. There's a lot of reason to believe he may not even be dead. I mean, you got members of Congress saying this stuff out. So even though we thought the document dump would make a lot of this stuff sort of go away, it's giving more fodder to a lot of questions that need to be answered. Back here in a minute.